Well, first of all, I mean, coming off last week, it's great to go on the road and win in the league. Everything didn't look like it was supposed to, but at the end of the day, you walk out of there with the first road win in the conference in the history of the program, so that's a positive. We got to reload, get ready to go on the road again this week, play a good Monmouth football team. That's their third and final home game of the year. Obviously, it's homecoming, their last game in the current configuration of their stadium. They got a lot going on, a lot that'll be some extra motivation for them, I'm sure. So we got a great challenge. We got to go get ready to play. As we've talked about every week, it's Kennesaw State getting ready to be the best Kennesaw State they can be, having good days at practice and getting ourselves reloaded and ready to go. And it's, I talked a little bit about in the meeting on Monday just about finishing. It's something in the offseason the guys talked a lot about, finishing practice, finishing games, and finishing the season off right. So that's something we got to continue to work on as we go on the road and play a really good football team that's going to be an unbelievable challenge for us. So we're excited about the opportunity, looking forward to it. I'll open the floor for questions.
What's the injury situation with Sumter and Reed?
Michael Reed's out. He's getting better, but he's out. Justin's practicing. We're progressing him back into practice. Kind of similar as we did to Trey when he had a similar, not the same, but a similar injury. So hopefully if things go well this week for Justin, he'll be available on Saturday. Jordan Walker got hurt yesterday. The receiver core has taken hits left and right, so he'll be out for Saturday. Keanu Greer will be out for Saturday, and other guys are banged up, but hopefully should be able to go. But we got some guys banged up, but that's this time of year, as part of it. So.
What does Monmouth do well that presents the biggest challenges for you?
Well, I think offensively they're really balanced in what they do. They got two good receivers, really good running back. The running back didn't play against us last year. Quarterback was a freshman last year. He's now a sophomore. They got a big old offensive line, and at times they'll try to do what I think most people want to do against us, kind of mash us a little bit. But they've moved the football when you look at them. You look at the game against Liberty last week. They got the ball on the 1 yard line coming out to start the game, throw a post, complete it. The guy's running down the field. They're fixing to go in and score, and the guy knocks it loose for Liberty, to their credit. Then Liberty kicks off to them, and the ball bounces around the corner. Guy can't field it. They recover that. Next thing you know, they're behind the 8 ball, and then they're pretty productive moving the ball. So they've been able to move the ball against people. They do a good job. They run it. They throw it. They're fairly balanced in what they do. So again, it's just honestly, it's us doing our job, and we didn't play well on defense last week at all. We got to do a better job communicating, trusting the plan, the things that have gotten us to where we are when we play good defense. We got to do a better job. And on defense, they do a nice job. They're a high motor team, a lot of different looks, try to create negative plays. Got a good safety, number 30s of always around the football. Their linebacker, 50, is a good player. A lot of the same guys we played against last year. Their two defensive ends were out last year. One of them now playing linebacker. So they've definitely upgraded from our particular game last year, the defensive end spot. They had a handful of kids hurt last year when they came down and played us. So both sides are going to be a challenge for us, without a doubt, and obviously special teams as well, as we if we can get out of our own way on special teams right now. So, but that poses a challenge. But they're a good football team. Much better than their record appears, that's for sure.
What about finishing? The last 2 times on the road, Furman and got out to the big lead, is it just lack of concentration, relaxing in the second half, or is it not adjusting to the opponent's adjustments?
Well, I think though they were very similar in nature, they were different in the way we handled it. I think there was no question at Furman at the end of the second quarter. We took our foot off the gas, relaxed a little bit. They got the momentum. And to our credit, we did find a way to finish, even though it wasn't what it should have been, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, we did win the game. But I think in the Furman game, there's no question we relaxed. When we're dialed in and focused and everybody's doing their job and playing hard, we got a chance to be successful. But, boy, when we're a little bit off, it can equally be as bad. And that's been that case. It's been that way. I think the Gardner-Webb game, I'll be honest with you, I said again, defensively, we did not play well. First half, second half, first quarter, third quarter, we did not play well. And the more adversity hit us, the worse we got because we tried to cover up for one another's mistakes instead of really doing your job a little bit better. And then offensively, I thought we came out and scored on the first drive of the second half, which is a goal. And then really if we stop them and score again, the game's over. But we didn't. We had critical penalties at critical times, and we had 3 drop passes that I think had an impact as well on us being able to go ahead and put the game away. So I think it was, I don't know that we necessarily relaxed in that one. But what I told our guys on Monday, I said, shoot, when you get ahead, I said, how do you play when you get ahead? I said, the same way you play to get where you are. And if anything, a little success ought to heighten your focus and attention to detail to go finish. Just with adversity, the same thing. That ought to heighten your focus and attention to detail because things aren't going the way you want them. So you want to even play that much harder and that much smarter so that, you can overcome that adversity. So I think it's really the same in both. As we talked about on Monday. And it's something we got to get better at. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I got to coach it better. We got to coach it better, continue to talk about it. But I think it was, even though it looked the same, I do think the games were different, if that makes sense, even though they did kind of run the same course without a doubt. It's not any fun, I can tell you that. I mean, but we found a way to win, found a way to stop them. That is the positive you take out of it.
On the flip side of that, 3-0 on the road this year, complete opposite to what was going on last season. What's the difference there? Is it just a year older and more experience, or is there more to it than that?
I think yes, and I think, we're kind of a challenge-driven football team. When there's a challenge out there that maybe we haven't done something think about last year. I mean, it was like every time they stepped foot on the field, it was to prove people that they were more than just your average startup program. So I think to our guys, any challenge put out there for our football team, it's not something I specifically put out. It was pretty obvious. We talked a little bit about it, but it wasn't overdone. I think that's something they thrive on a little bit and have always responded to. And you put yourself in a position now to go on the road. We got a chance to go 2-1 in the league. The league race is still wide open in every shape, form, or fashion. So as I told them last week, I said this is the biggest game of the year, and I really believe that coming off an emotional loss. How do you respond? And then I told them as well, when you win a big game like that, it makes the next game that much bigger down the stretch because of where we are in the conference, where we are in the season. The opportunities are dwindling. You have to take advantage of them to give yourself a chance to be successful.
Monmouth hasn't been turning the ball over a lot, and you guys really pride yourself on trying to be able to create 3 each game. Can you talk about how crucial it's going to be to find a way to get them out of their comfort and take the ball from them?
Well, I think it goes on both sides. Obviously, you can't turn it over, and then if you can create some turnovers, some momentum plays, I think it's huge. I think it's huge in every game. Last week we didn't turn it over, and they only turned it over once. But, yeah, I think it's a big deal. Anytime you can get the quarterback off schedule a little bit, get him thinking about other things. So, yeah, I think it's a big deal. We talk about it every week, no matter who we play. It's just, it's get 3, 0 on the other side. So we just got to continue to work on that and do that. It's something we've emphasized. Some weeks are better than others, but that's the nature of the game. But I think when you go on the road, it's huge, even more so at home a little bit. I mean, it's big when you go on the road.
One of the unique side stories about this we talked a little about yesterday. Here 23, 24 years ago, Coach Callahan started that program. He's still there and has had a pretty good level of success, and here you are in year 2. There's a lot of mutual respect and admiration between the two of you. Can you speak a little on that, just your thoughts on what he's done over the years and where you guys are trying to go that might be similar?
Well, first of all, Coach Callahan's an unbelievable man and person and coach. And I think it speaks volumes for a guy in this day and age in college football to be at one place for as long as he has is unreal. But what it tells you about the character and the culture of the program that they've created. And I think outside of X's and O's, I think that's really what it's about. He represents not only what's right in college football, but just for that community, the culture they've created at Monmouth, and all those things. And he and I briefly spoke on different occasions just about some of the trials and tribulations of getting going. But you can tell that they've done a great job with their culture. And I talk a lot about that because X's and O's are X's and O's, but at the end of the day, it's the culture of your program that's going to last for a long time. And I think that's where he's done a great job. And you look at his coordinators, I mean, heck, they've been there for a long time as well. So I think he's done a great job. He's a great person to be around. You can tell he's one of those that Coach Klein, our defensive tackle coach, played for him. You know what I mean? And he just speaks of volumes of how he is with the players, how much the players respect him. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. We get caught up in the wins and losses and all that. But all that stuff, other stuff is really what's important and what builds programs. So he's done an outstanding job there.